Hello everyone, I'm Cameron Manuel Burns reporting for FinTech Futures here at Sibos in Frankfurt, and I'm delighted to say that I'm joined by Sovan Shatpathy, the Senior Vice President of Project Management and Development at Oracle Financial Services. Firstly, welcome, and I know it's only just started, but how are you enjoying the conference so far?
First of all, thank you. It's been fantastic. It's day one, and Sibos is one of those conferences where you get mix of business and technology people, and you learn a lot. So it's been great, and Frankfurt is always great to be back in one of the big financial capitals of the world.
Well, it's my first time here, but I'm enjoying exploring around.
Yeah.
But just to kick off, could you please tell us a bit more about Oracle's Intelligent Enterprise Blueprint for banking, please?
It's a really good question. AI is everywhere. Uh, if you really think about it, Oracle Financial Services has been in the business of banking, I would say, at least for 3 decades or more, right? We already have had products in the market which are cloud native, have the right data lineage, which lean on our foundations of OCI, our foundations of the database company of the world. So at a fundamental level, I would say the intelligent blueprint from Oracle and from our side right now with AI is how do you make it AI infused in everything, right? AI not as an afterthought, not as something where you do a checkbox. That doesn't work. A metaphor I can think of is it's like the blood in my veins, right? When you're designing with AI out. So the things I have been telling my product teams and others is that think of it if me and Cameron started a startup tomorrow, AI is the operating system and the new APIs are the agents because the agents are talking and then the way we develop application becomes more and more agents which are working in harmony, right? So to bring it all home together, I would say that our strategy is AI infused, not AI as an add-on. Agents everywhere in the experience plane, in the action plane, which would be like the business domain where the bankers are operating, intersecting with data ecosystems. And then what brings it all together would be the notion of security and control, because you want that across all layers of the AI fabric.
Hmm.
Banking is a trust based business.
Uh,
And if the trust is not there, there is not a bank.
Absolutely. And so, what model risk and data lineage controls, such as explainability, human in the loop, audit trails, satisfy regulators across payments, cash, trade, and foreign exchange?
Right. So I'll break it down. We just started, Carol, with AI, right? I mean, if you ask me fundamentally, if a bank or any enterprise for that matter doesn't have their data strategy right, including clear, traceable, linear data, AI ain't matter because it's building on the foundation of data, right? It's like staying on my human body metaphor. It's like the gene pool, right? It is so good clean data would mean good clean output. Otherwise, you have a lot of garbage and you have more beautiful garbage. That's a problem. Now you talked about model risk management. I think it's a universal concept. I was a practitioner in a bank a while back. 3 layers, they talk about 3 lines of defense, right? They talk about IT, they talk about enterprise risk management, and then they talk about internal audit. I personally think regulators are the fourth line of defense. So when you're talking about machine learning models and risk management, you want to be sure that they're actually giving the output what's factual. They're not hallucinating. That's a term which is becoming popular. And they give information based on pure facts. So model risk management, clean data, and then you start to talk about human in the loop. Yes, there is a trend today. There was AI, there is Gen AI, agentic AI. We are going towards AGI, artificial general intelligence. But humans are here for a reason, right? So if you want to have a trust but verify approach, which is very important, I think, in a regulated business like global banking, you want to intersect the human, the business process owner, the banker, maybe your head of technology, so that you validate before you let something through. So it's just like to bring it all home, clean data, data lineage, non hallucination, obsessing that your models actually work, and having the right business SMEs or process owners interjecting through the flows makes for a true intelligent AI first bank.
Super.
And this is coming at us rapidly.
Super, thank you.
Yeah.
And so what approaches are being used to pilot, scale, and continuously improve AI applications while monitoring both business impact and risk?
I tell Cameron, all of my teams are all the global bank CIOs or head of business I meet. It's always a crawl, walk, run, right? You can't, I mean, Rome was not built in a day. There is a reason we talk about that. So the approach has been that you start in small bites, right? You try it out. Let's talk. We are at Sibos. This is payments, cash, trade, and all, right?
Mm.
There are tons of use cases, but you got to start with things like maybe end of the day balancing of accounts, or you're talking about more proactive fraud detection and all of that, compliance management. So, keeping in that spirit, the approach we have been taking is that we start to build in the factory, so to speak, in the product shop of Oracle, different kinds of agents. Like I said, the experience agents are more where the customers or the bankers are in the mix. Then you have more and more what I call as domain agents, which are just operating end of the day based on business rules and doing like cash rebalance or otherwise, right?
Mm.
But apply it in one small sector, see that it scales, ensure that the microcosm works, and from there you scale that out, right?
Mhm.
So that philosophy of how we want to advise the banks to adopt is something we are also applying inside of our development shops, right? Do it quick, do it fast, keep in mind the time to value, try it out on smaller subset of data, whether you're inferencing, whether you're working with language models or beyond. Then once you know that it's working, scale out, scale out, scale out, right? But always start with the end in mind, I would say, because you must have the blueprint and this is where I want to be, and let me work backwards. Otherwise, you're just serendipitously discovering along the way, never a good strategy.
So where do you feel that Gen AI and agentic AI will lift STP and cut exceptions fastest? So ISO 20022, enrichment, investigations, sanctions, and anti-money laundering, alert quality, or chargebacks.
In a lot of terms here, we're talking about straight through processing.
Mhm.
We're talking about ISO 20022, which is the global standard for money movement. I mean, again, I'll break it down, right? I mean, keeping it simple, right? Whether you're in transaction banking, corporate banking, retail banking, it ain't matter. And at the end of the day, you should be able to balance your account. You should be able to process it, right? Banking is all about money movement and money management. So when we talk about straight through processing, and you have these refined agents in the mix which can go and execute at scale. See, one of the beauty of AI driven agents is they are sometimes not like gullible, right? They won't do like I'm having a bad day, so I'll just my straight through processing don't go through. So I would say the time to value goes up, the predictability goes up, and the quality of execution goes up, right? And then you start to think about things like AML, or all those things which are in fraud and compliance. More and more money movement. We are again in Sibos. Everything is going real time,
Mhm.
which means detection has to happen at the point of origin, not after the fact in 3 days. Somebody is living happily ever after somewhere. So having AI infused at the point of origin and doing the proactive check will absolutely help, right?
Mhm.
So what were the couple of other points you talked about?
So sanctions and AML,
Yeah.
alert quality, chargebacks, and
Yeah.
investigations.
Yeah, so and the third thing is the chargeback. That's the one thing I did not hit on. So you want to be in the business of chargebacks but for the right reasons, right? So one of the things also done right, which will work, AI done right, generative and agentic, is that you remove a lot of false positives out of the equation if you really think about it, right? Because if you're going to go after a concept like chargeback for recovery and otherwise and beyond, again, it should be factual and it should be done in the right manner. The worst thing you can do to any customer, B2C or B2B, is that you roll it forward and then you say, oops, I did a mistake. Can I roll it back? And again, it then goes back to the business of trust.
Great, thank you. So how will AI improve intraday liquidity forecasting, receivables matching, virtual accounts, and cash pooling?
So the question is basically in the domain of cash management. And if you think about AI, both traditional AI, generative AI, agentic AI, you started with, cash forecasting. If we talked about it, well run AI models which have the right data lineage, we don't have hallucination, which have the right risk quotient, just provides for more predictive and accurate forecasting. And for banks, that's a big deal because in the world of cash management, every dollar matters at the end of the day. And then from there, you're talking about notions like, end of the day reconciliation, or how we do pooling and sweeping and rebalancing of account. We started to talk about it, right? Done right, right kind of agents will go based on like deterministic business rules, because now we have got the forecasting right. Now we need to get the rebalancing right, right? So you allow the agent to run, and it goes and does the rebalancing across a set of liquidity accounts, because some may be zero balance account, some may be interest bearing account, some may be something else. What's in it for the bank? Well, it maximizes their customer service and how they look at their top line and bottom line. And from a customer perspective, that's what they expect, right? When money is moving through the banking system, that you're predicting correctly, you're pooling it correctly, you're applying it correctly, and you're feeding it to the right accounts. And concepts like virtual accounts and all are nothing but like nested accounts which work tied to a bigger bank across all phases of cash. If I were to really simplify it, predicting cash management, liquidity management, and virtual account management. AI is like the freeway system or the autobahn around Frankfurt, right?
Mhm.
You got to get it right. You must know how to drive at the right pace on that autobahn, right?
Mhm.
Otherwise, you run the risk of falling off the grid.
That's super. And well, a final one here for you is,
Yeah,
of course, we've been speaking a lot about AI here, but
yeah.
I'm wondering what your predictions are for the AI ecosystem as we go forward, and what are the opportunities that are going to present themselves for enterprises looking to leverage this technology?
To me, it is the existential question of our times. Uh, Today it's AI, yesterday it was cloud, right before that there was enterprise data, before that people talk about service-oriented architecture. So my big point here is that, Moore's law, which some of us know, where its chipset will increase at certain pace, it's reduced to me every 3 months. So technology is changing so fast that every business, not just global banking, is essentially a technology business. How you apply technology will differentiate the winners from the also rans. So my point here is that people who got the strategy right with like service oriented architectures, got the strategy right with their data, they got the strategy right with their cloud adoption and cloud native architectures, which in turn has set them up for this AI first ecosystem. And if you and the banks which are embracing this strategy, banks and any Fortune 1000 enterprise who are embracing it with the open arm, the
Mm.
AI first ecosystem, are the ones who are set up right for whatever is to come next. And who knows what that is. But one thing I can bet my life on, it's coming for sure. But you must come in a step by step manner. If you missed out SOA, you missed out data, you missed out cloud, you missed out AI, you're not ready for what's coming tomorrow.
Mhm.
So I say that let's get off our chair and embrace AI with open arms and do it with the right intent.
Mhm.
It's magical.
Well, that's a great way to finish. Thank you so much, Sovan. It's been really, really interesting to hear your insights, and well, I hope you have a great rest of the conference.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.